Welcome back to Tales from the Empty Nest. She's Mama.
And he's Big Boy.
We're just a couple of empty nesters that made it through raising kids and still managed to stay married together. And for the most part, we like each other.
Yeah, for the most part.
But it wasn't always easy. And we talked a little bit in episode 2 last week about how our marriage, how we thought our marriage started kind of going off in the wrong direction. And I wanted to kind of pick up from there and talk a little bit more about that, just to kind of set the stage for this next part. Basically, we had kids. We added on top of having young kids going back to school while I was working full time. I started to feel neglected because Mama was raising kids.
And going to school.
And going to school as well. And so, like men do sometimes, we're big babies. I started kind of distancing myself from Mama. I started going out with my friends. Started finding other things to do besides just kind of sitting at home and feeling neglected, I guess. And again, not saying that judgy, but just that's how I felt, I think, during the time. Fast forward a few years, our kids are in school, high school rather, and I think by this point, we had really had so much distance in between us, and we didn't even realize it. Now, you mentioned that last week, how it just happened so fast, but I think it got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, well, we left off also with, we finished school, I got a job, and I worked night shift, and
That's
I
right.
Contributed, and then we moved. Maybe about 4 years after we both got our degrees, we moved, and then the kids
moved to a new city. So,
yes, and the kids really got involved in sports then because they were middle school and getting into high school. So
yeah, so a lot of stuff. Yeah, it kind of cascaded, and finally one day we just woke up, and I think we were both just really incredibly unhappy. Like, I was unhappy. I didn't feel like I was getting what I wanted out of the relationship. I don't think you felt like you were getting what you wanted out of the relationship. It got to the point where we were really in that roommate stage that you hear people talk a lot about. Like, we just kind of managed the day-to-day and got through the day-to-day, but we really didn't have much of a relationship. And
do you want me to touch upon medical issues as well that contributed to that?
Yeah.
During what a time we didn't realize was broken, but looking back, it was broken when all of this happened. I'll let you kind of lead the way on that one.
Yeah, so
what you experienced.
So to go along with all this move and the kids are starting high school and finishing up junior high, and so all the things that are going on with that, new jobs for both of us. So I got incredibly sick one night, woke Mama up in the middle of the night, and I said, I think we need to go to the hospital. I was having terrible stomach pains. Couldn't do the stomach business, and so it just got progressively worse and worse. So we go to the emergency room at one of the local hospitals, and it was backed up, and I was feeling terrible. I said, no, we can't do that. I think I threw up outside of that emergency room.
Yeah, they said it was going to be a 6-hour wait.
Yeah, so I threw up on their sidewalk. And then we end up going to a place, one of the smaller, kind of walk-in emergency room, standalone deals. They do an X-ray, do a CT scan, I believe, and the doctor comes in and says, "Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try to get you admitted. I'm concerned about something I see there, but I need to."
You had a bowel obstruction.
Yeah, I had a bowel obstruction, and so I get admitted. I have to wait a couple days before they can do a colonoscopy, and it comes back that I have stage 3 colon cancer at the age of 39.
Yeah.
Which is
crazy.
Which is, for those of you that don't know, that's really, really young. But they're finding it younger and younger these days.
Yes.
So I think today 39 is really not a crazy anomaly. My doctor, the doctor that saw me, called me a unicorn. He said he's never seen it in anybody that young. So there's another thing on top of just kind of all the hustle and bustle. And unfortunately, during all of that stuff, I really even gotten more distant from.
I think you were worried. I don't want to say how you felt, but I feel you're a little depressed. You're a little worried what does my future hold for
I was really
for
worried.
my family? And
Yeah, I was
and
really
even-
worried.
Yeah, even though we were, kind of distancing apart, we still really care about each other. You cared about me, and you didn't know what impact that diagnosis had on the rest of your life and
Right.
how it would impact our life.
Right. And I knew one thing, being the hardhead that I am, I knew that I wanted the kids to just not have to worry about it. Like, I did not want any of that to be something that worried the kids. I didn't want it to be anything that worried you.
Right.
But I should have known better.
And then that you didn't realize what you were doing was shutting everybody out.
Right. Right.
Including me.
Yeah.
So
I shut everybody
yeah.
out. I stayed really isolated. I went through my stuff alone. You did come to the first, I think you came to my first treatment after surgery. So I ended up having a surgery to remove the tumor, which went great. And then they said, my oncologist was like, you don't have to do it. We think we got everything, but there's this option to do a round of chemo, and that should knock it completely out. And I said, all right, I don't want to be – I kind of went back and forth on that decision. And I said, you know what? I don't want to wake up in 2 years and this stuff comes back and me go, man, I should have really went and did that.
Yeah.
So I did the first round of chemo, which I think it was six rounds was the initial deal of chemo.
And I wanted to go with you.
She did.
You didn't want me to be there.
I didn't want anybody to be
the
there.
most frustrating thing
I didn't want
ever.
anybody to be there. You came
You didn't want to seem weak, I feel like.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I just didn't think it was worth like you taking off work and coordinating with all of that stuff.
I thought it was worth
to be. Well, I know you did. And looking back on it, I should have said, yeah, come.
See, so right there, case in point, a little bit of distance, disagreement, and we didn't do a good job communicating with each other. Well, this makes me feel this way.
Well, at this point, we weren't really communicating much at all.
Yeah, that's fair. Unless we had to.
Right. And again, it was all business. It wasn't like about each other. It wasn't about how our days were. It wasn't about anything that you build a relationship off of. So all of that on top of it, and then everything seems great with that. And again, we still haven't even gotten to the point where we're trying to heal our relationship. Just we didn't have that worry anymore. So we thought. 2 years later, just a little over 2 years later, I go in for a random, my random checkup. And I think at that point I was going every 6 months. It was on one of those 6-month checkups
for lab work.
Yes, lab work, scans, all that stuff. And my cancer marker, the blood test that does your cancer marker reading for colon cancer just shot through the roof. It like went from 3 something, which is normal, to 9 or 10 or something like that. So clearly the doctors were concerned. I had a colonoscopy. Again, everything was fine with that. I did a PET scan, and that one showed nothing, which that one's usually the one that they find things. I did another CAT scan. They found nothing. But then they did a ultrasound of my liver or my abdomen, and they found a big mass in my liver. We did a biopsy on it, came back positive for the colon cancer, and it had metastasized to my liver. And so then we had another really tough decision to make. I could do ablation, which would keep me alive, the doctor said, for a while, or we could try to go in and take it out. Clearly, the risks for liver surgery very, very high compared to the risk for colon cancer surgery or removing a section of the colon. So we thought about that one for a long time, and that was a huge stressor for me. And I remember when I told you that it came back, like you just kind of had like this breakdown moment.
Yeah, that one was rough.
And that's tough for me, clearly, because again, our relationship wasn't in a great place, but you said it earlier, we still cared for each other. We
still love each other.
Yeah. So we ultimately decided that, man, I don't want to just stay alive for a couple years. Like, let's go.
Or let that thing grow
and go other places. Yeah. And I talked to multiple doctors about it, and every single one of them to a T said, it's risky, but if it was me, I'd get that out of me. So we do the surgery. The surgery was a success. And again, I think we're telling y'all probably a little bit more than we need to tell you. This doesn't have anything to do with our marriage, but we wanted to, I think we really wanted to.
Actually.
We wanted to illustrate that we went through a lot of stuff, just like a lot of you people are probably going through a lot of stuff with your marriages.
There may not be the same obstacles, but there's obstacles.
Right. Everybody has their own stuff, and I think that's important to remember in anything is everybody's got their own things going on. So you can't always just take things at face value. But certainly we had a lot going on, and it did a lot of damage to our relationship because we let it. And I think that's the thing. You don't have to let any of those things. You don't have to let the kids. You don't have to let school. You don't have to let work. You don't have to let health issues. You don't have to let any of those things get in the way of you and your spouse and y'all's relationship. If anything, you should use those things to make your relationship stronger. And I think we just didn't either know how to do that or didn't realize it, and probably a combination of all of those things. We just didn't realize it, and then
you get hardened. Like you start blaming the other person, and you don't start realizing that maybe you had something to contribute to the problem as well. All you do is see what the other person has done wrong, but you don't realize in yourself what you're doing, could make them feel a certain way as to why they react that way.
Exactly. You stop going after things as a team, and you start becoming enemies. And I think that's ultimately where things go wrong, is when couples stop seeing the problem as the problem and they start seeing each other as the problem,
right?
And start being very self-centered around their sort of reality of the problem.
When you sit there and realize, man, we're acting this way. Why are we acting this way? It's not because we hate each other or we don't like each other. It's the obstacle and how we reacted to it. And if we can figure out how to tackle that together,
right,
it would have helped the issue. But we didn't realize that till.
Well, we didn't even realize it then.
Yeah.
And then one day, I woke up and I was like, I've had enough of this. Like, this isn't how I want to live anymore.
Right. And to be completely honest, you did have a conversation with me, and I shut you down about everything, and I was not open to the conversation, and again, built that wall up.
Yeah.
Because in response, you had built a wall, I had built a wall, and it just kept bigger, 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 bigger. And when you came to me and said, there's problems and this is serious, I just brushed it off and didn't think it was that serious.
I think maybe you had done the same to me, I'm sure, and I kind of did the same thing. So
yeah.
I think I think you nailed it when you said our hearts hardened and we built these walls, and it was just at that point just too hard for us to see the other person's side and really have any kind of empathy for the other person at that point. And so it finally came to a head, and I sat you down and I said, I think I said, I need you to let me say this. And like, I don't want any, like, I don't want to fight, but I just need to tell you this.
Yeah. And it was kind of, this is the way it's going to be. So.
Yeah. So we sat down and I told her, I said, I'm going to move out. And I did. I moved out. I found a place not far from here because I wanted to be close enough that if something happened, I could get here. I wanted to be close enough to come see the kids, or the kids could come see me.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was saying, timeline-wise, you had been diagnosed with the liver cancer in 19, summer of 19.
And I moved out.
And you moved out in February,
spring,
spring of 2020.
Right.
So that's how quick all that happened.
Yeah. It just got to the point where, I think neither one of us at that point were just very happy at all. And so for me, again, I thought the best thing I could do for everybody was just kind of remove myself and chill out some, I think. Like, just have, I don't know what I thought I was accomplishing. I just knew it wasn't good for me to be here. So I moved out, and we did all that. And then I don't know, I can't remember if you said let's do couples counseling or if
I think we discussed it.
Yeah, we might have discussed it a couple times, and then finally, I don't think I was ever necessarily against it, but I probably had some reservation.
You kind of get lonely through that. Loneliness is
loneliness is powerful.
I don't know if you want to touch on that.
Well, I mean, we just I don't
know if it's healthy or not, but man, it's what got us talking and saying, what can we do to fix this, and let's go to therapy. Because we still found each other very sexually attractive. And I don't think I need to say any more about that, even though you were moved out. So
Yeah, but it took a while before we got to that point.
It did take a while.
It was months. It was a few months.
Right.
And we conversated.
Right.
We talked about the kids. Like we
went to sporting events.
Yeah, we kept up with the bit. We sat together. Like we didn't. Again, it was one of those things where I didn't want to make it any more awkward than it needed to be, and we didn't fight. Like we didn't do any of the things that you might see like a toxic couple do in public or with each. We just kept it really low key. We just weren't living together at the time.
And this is, I just thought of this right now. This is breaking news to a lot of people that if they listen to us, that are close to us,
they don't know this.
They don't even know this.
Yeah. So you guys are the first.
It was just our family, my
family.
close family.
My family still does not know.
We live close to my family, so it was kind of impossible for them not to know. Our family and a few very close friends. Other than that, no one else knows. So, surprise.
Yay. So we moved out. We kept, parenting, right? And just kind of in the course of that, as Mama said, you kind of get lonely, and some things happened with that, and
maybe a couple one night stands. I don't know.
Yeah, and I would come over a lot during the day,
right.
To work from here, so I could be by the kids
while I was at work
during the
right.
summer.
Mm-hmm.
During that, that was COVID, so that was the COVID year. So the kids got sent home early. So I spent basically that whole spring and part of summer.
Right. But I still worked, so we weren't.
Yeah, because you can't do surgeries from home.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then we just got to talking about, hey, maybe we could try counseling, or because again, we very much loved each other. We just didn't really know how to be married to each other at that point, or how to get past like some of the things we were hurt about. So we went and we decided to do couples counseling, and we did. And I think, I don't know if it was like a resounding success necessarily, but I think it did. I think it did get us to the point where at least you understood where I was coming from, and I understood where you were coming from.
Right. And it also made us internally like self-evaluate ourselves and going, oh my gosh. He brought up, well, when you do this, why do you feel like you do this? And it really makes you dig deep and go, oh my gosh, this stems from childhood, things like that. That's why I react this way, or that's why I feel this way. Is I've always felt that way all my life, and now I'm pushing that on my husband, or now I'm reacting that way towards my husband. I felt like therapy was a huge success, and it was a big growing moment for our marriage and for just yourself internally. And now this is side note, but I use some of those tools now when the kids come to me and they say, what about this? What about this? What about this? I share those tools with them and how to handle certain aspects of their relationships, whether it be friends or girlfriend or boyfriend or whatnot. So I think therapy, I know it doesn't work for everybody. And for us, it helped substantially. I mean, it was a really good experience.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, this is going to sound super corny, but I think it's real. I think it's really important to understand what makes your spouse tick.
Exactly.
And what I don't think you understand or understood at the time was like, and probably up until that point, I don't think you really understood like the value of like physical touch to me. Mm-hmm. Like that is like, so you talk about the love languages, and I think that's the simplest way to talk about this is like, my love language is physical touch. Like that's how I feel close to people, by physically touching. And I don't think you really, like, not that you went out of your way not to understand. I just don't think, because you're different. You're not like that. Yours is like acts of service, I think.
Yeah.
And so so for you, like me coming in and seeing a pile of clothes and taking care of it,
Yes.
is like the same type of thing as you coming up to me and
That's
giving
a
me a
panty
hug
dropper.
and a kiss. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't really ever consider that about
Right.
each other. And so I think, again, like a tip I would give everybody out there is take some time to understand and it's really simple. There's like tests online where you can find your love language. And you probably know it just if you think about it.
And even if you don't want to do therapy as a couple and you don't feel like you're in a position to do that, do it for yourself, because that was a big part of it. We did couples therapy, but he took moments to kind of break down like just each other. Like, why do you feel this way? Like, why do you feel like you react that way? What has happened, or what makes you feel that way? So even just doing your own therapy helps as well, I feel. But yeah.
Yeah, so again, I do want to stress, not everybody's the same. So when your husband is after you all the time and you think, "Oh my God, that's all he wants me for is sex, 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 sex," or he's always trying to touch me, that's a good thing, ladies. That's just the way he is. And husbands, men, when your lady is on you all the time about not washing the dishes or not taking out the garbage, or why can't you help me with this? Why can't you help me with that? She's an active service gal, and you need to understand that and start doing some of those things for her. And I went from a guy, y'all won't believe this. I went from a guy that never did anything in the house. I'm a guy now that cooks.
Oh yeah,
I clean.
Cook. Hell yeah.
What else do I take care of stuff, mostly outside stuff, but I take care of stuff around the house. I used to just kind of just be there.
Is taking your spouse on trips acts of service?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You do a good job of that too.
Yeah. So
I like my trips.
So I think, again, you'll get out of therapy what you put into it. It's not a silver bullet to your problem, but if you really go in wholehearted and you put some effort into it and you do the homework and you talk about those things,
yeah,
I think it can be successful for anybody. So ultimately, though, I think the key is to never get in that situation in the first place.
Right.
And so my advice to anybody out there listening that's a young couple or maybe even an older couple that's got new children, you guys have to, figure out what makes each other tick, and you got to be tuned into that. And then you got to spend time doing things with each other. You got to find a way to perform an act of service for your wife. You've got to find a way to, put the kids to bed and go to bed with your husband. And I'm not saying all husbands are physical touch and all women are acts of service, but I think it probably breaks down more along those lines than anything else.
Here's the biggest takeaway we had from therapy is communicating without yelling and saying, I reacted that way, I'm sorry. I reacted that way because when you said this or this happened, it made me feel this way. And when the other spouse realizes, oh, crap, like I had no idea that it impacted you that way. And that's what ignited that response. It opens up your eyes to go, oh my gosh. Like me, I have to feel like I have to be perfect all the time. So when he would say something wasn't right to me or something wasn't right or something in this, I would be so defensive about it and I would attack him because I felt like he was coming at me. But deep down, it was because I just felt inferior. I didn't feel like I was performing to my standards, and I wasn't a perfectionist at that time. And it had nothing to do with him. It was just internally something that I was struggling with. And so when you sit there and communicate with how something made the other person feel, and that's why they reacted that way, it really opens your eyes. And that's the biggest takeaway I feel like we got from therapy is how to communicate, and as far as that goes.
Yeah, and we still suck at it sometimes.
We do.
We're not perfect at any of this by any means. I think one of the saving graces for us is that we were able to make it through the kid part. And again, nothing against kids or anything. Like, we love our children to death, but it's hard. It's a lot of extra stuff. And so
A lot of those stressors are gone.
Yeah, we don't.
Kids are a stressor. I love them to death, but when they play sports and they consume your time, that was a stressor. I no longer work night shift. That stressor's gone. School, we're no longer in school right now. That stressor's gone. You're healthy.
We're not moving into a new house.
Yay, you're healthy. That's no longer a stressor.
Yeah, so
that helped too. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, it does. But again, those are all things that a strong couple can work through together, and we just didn't.
There is a silver lining.
Yeah, we didn't stop and try to do that together.
Yeah,
we just
didn't try to get through it together.
We just kept going.
We kept building those walls. Yeah.
So I think any questions you guys want to ask, you guys can go on the website. We've got a contact form. Feel free. You can check us out on TikTok. You can check us out on YouTube. You can check us out on Instagram, Twitter. We're Tales from the Empty Nest at all of those places. So do that, and we'll do our best to try to give you our thoughts. We are not like therapists.
No.
We're just some people that made it through a lot of hard stuff.
Yep. And we have the tools to make it through other hard things. So
yeah,
that's the learning thing we've got from this.
So because of all of this, because we made it to phase 3, and again, the 3 phases of marriage that you'll hear about, and actually if you search phases of marriage, there's a lot more than 3, I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
3 basic.
But I think there's the honeymoon phase where you don't have kids. Then there's kids and going through and handling all those things. And then there's empty nesting. And empty nesting, I think, there's some pretty good sex stuff going on in empty nesting.
There is some pretty good sex stuff going on.
What do you think? So I asked this on Twitter one day. I did a poll and nobody answered it because it was like the first thing I put on Twitter. So maybe like 5 people saw it tops. Do you think sex was better before kids or after kids?
Oh man, that's a hard one. I think we've learned a lot about each other over the last 27 years. So I honestly think sex is better now. We're not scared to try new things or incorporate new things into our sex life.
Yeah.
And now as empty nesters, we don't have to worry about people hearing us when all that's going on. So that's a bonus.
Yeah, 100%.
Or walking in the room.
for you guys that are love language, physical touch, make it through past the kids and get to phase 3 of your marriage because it's so good.
Yeah.
So much fun.
There is no scared, I don't know if I want to try this or no, it's just we tell each other, yeah, I'm game for that. Or nope, drawn the line there. So, as we got to know each other and I think sex is better now.
I think you don't probably have the same bodies and things like that. Like you're not as physically.
Both women and men get older. There's
you're not like born. As physically good at it.
Yeah,
maybe. But I think you just learn so much, like you said, about your partner and what makes them tick and what doesn't make them tick. Mm-hmm. And then you nailed it with just like I think you start to get a little older and you're like, man, we need to try that. We need to do that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. I think sex after kids is way better. Mm-hmm. You see it a lot too. Like older people start to get into some crazy shit. I mean, there's like a whole retirement community thing down in Florida, I think, that's like a big swinger thing. Like they put like rocks or something.
Them.
Yeah, they put like rocks or something out on their front. Like a certain color rock means they're a swinger or something like that, I think is what it was. A blue rock or something.
And okay, so here's the thing. We're never going to be a burden on our children. We'll just go to a swinger nursing home. How about that?
Yeah, we'll go.
All right, book
perfect. It. Swinger nursing home. Well, this is on record. We're going to a swinger nursing home. After last week she said we are not swingers.
Well, at that age, I mean, what do you have to lose? Like, no one has to find out about it. Who the freak cares?
Yeah, that's a good point. Tell us your thoughts. Again, contact form, Twitter, whatever. Let us know what you guys think. You empty nesters out there, you guys having more fun together now, or
we forgot to talk about our trip?
No, we didn't. It's next on the list. Talk about the trip.
Oh, okay. Oh, Well, we went to wine country, Fredericksburg, a favorite, and I got to be a passenger princess the whole way there and the whole way back. Pretty much the whole trip. I don't think I drove once, you guys.
You didn't.
Yeah. So, and then we went to around Austin, to visit some friends. And then we went to a benefit concert at Moody Center in Austin on Sunday night, which is a really, really a special event. And now Big Daddy knows never to get this 5'3" teeny tot floor seats because I couldn't see anything. So that was a learning experience, but we had a fun time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. What was your top 2 things of the trip? We talked about this.
Okay, I'm the one that asked you this.
You did.
And now I can't even remember mine. I know top one was, I do remember them. Okay. Top one was the Martini Seafood Lounge. That's always my favorite when we go to Fredericksburg. That place is such a vibe. And the food is good. The drinks are good. And we went there at lunch. Amazing as always. We've never been disappointed there. And the other one was when we went to the Grape Creek Stouts restaurant.
Stout signature at Grape Creek Vineyards.
Okay. And we went and had dinner and shared a bottle of wine and had a really nice dinner.
Yeah.
To finish out our last night in Fredericksburg.
Yeah, we were only there. We weren't there a very long time, but I think we did a pretty. I mean, we did our first pool inlet in Fredericksburg. You don't need a super
long time unless you're going to hit up a bunch of wineries, but
yeah,
and we did it good.
We drink too much to do that.
I know.
Like we can't hit up a bunch of wineries.
We can't do that.
We go to one winery and drink everything they hand us. And,
I know.
And then we're good. But
I don't like to spit the wine.
Yeah, we do not pour wine back into the little thing.
That's a waste.
Do not spit it back into the glass. If you put a glass of wine in front of me, it's getting drank. And I think that's probably a Texas thing. Like if I ever do go to real wine country in California, everybody's probably going to be staring at me because I'm going to be pounding all the wine they give me.
Yeah, what's the name of that movie where he drinks the spitting wine?
Sideways.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah. So yeah, I really enjoyed Martini's Seafood. What is it called again?
Lounge, something like that. I think Martini's Seafood Lounge bar.
Yeah, something like that. It's really, really good, man. The food is outstanding. Really good drinks. And they had what was it, Friday happy hour thing?
Friday happy hour. Holy crap. Hit them. I don't even want to say this because I don't want a lot of people go there. But 12 to 1. 12 to 1. Like a lot of martini specials, half price, like appetizers and some certain entrees.
Yeah.
Which that place can be pretty pricey.
It's very pricey.
So that happy hour was really nice. And we didn't even know it was happy hour. We just happened to get there at 12. So.
Yeah. And then I think the other one was just kind of your enjoyment of the concert. And specifically when they announced that Jason Aldean had stayed over a night and he was going to sing. Yeah. Mama really got excited about that.
Because I had talked about going to see him the Saturday night before because I knew he was there the Saturday night. And we're like, oh, tickets are so expensive and let's just whatever. But anyway, and by then we had moved from our seats over to the side so we could both, well, you can see, but I couldn't see. We had these volleyball girls standing in front or sitting in front of us, so.
Yeah, a couple.
I couldn't see over them.
I'm 6 feet tall, and both of these girls were taller than me.
Yeah, they were
so
tall girls.
I'm pretty sure they were volleyball girls. So that was our trip, man. We had a blast, and we'll talk next week about our trip coming up to Columbus and Boston. We're both excited about that. Yeah. Before we get out of here today, though, we got a mailbag question, and this is an interesting one. I've been like taking little snippets of our conversations here and just putting them to videos and putting them up on TikTok. And someone responded to one with a very like kind of deep question, and so I wanted us to talk about it. This person says, I've been married 40 years, kids have been gone 15 years. I've always been the caregiver, the do everything, chef, maid, pick up medicine for him, do everything. He works, makes a good living, but then she says it's not always about the money. The isolation and overwhelming burden of taking on everything and do it all, the worries are breaking me. after 40 years, I need a break. What does a person do? And then she goes on, and the intimacy issues, that's a whole different thing. And so I read that, and my initial thing was like, well, let's do a video. But then I thought, there is no way you can adequately answer that in a video that anybody's going to watch. And so I thought we'd kind of talk about it a little bit here. To me, I see a lot of, they're two different types of people, like the whole love language thing.
Right.
Like she's an active service person, clearly. And
go ahead, finish.
Well, and I don't, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But he's not reciprocating with the acts of service. And honestly, I don't want to assume, but I bet with the intimacy stuff, he probably doesn't feel fulfilled. So they're missing each other. Yeah. Like almost exactly like we missed each other for so long.
Right. And what did we learn how to, I don't know if this has happened because it's just a brief little thing that she has said, but is there a broken line of communication? Does he know you feel this way? Does he know you feel this way?
Right.
So we eventually had to say, like, we would have to talk and be like, you coming up to me and like rubbing my butt or grabbing my tits is not my love language. If you maybe vacuumed the floor or took out the trash or did something to help out in the house, or you took the initiative to put the kids to bed or change a dirty diaper, or, which this was younger, but I'm saying older, maybe more services around the house, but that is what gets my love language going. So maybe there's a lack of communication there. Have they talked to each other about this and be like, hey, I feel like something's lacking, something's not right. I feel this way. And how do you feel? The biggest thing is not blaming somebody.
I think you got that backwards.
Oh, okay. Did I get that backwards?
I think a better way to, and this, again, I never would have done this.
Maybe something works for, maybe what I said works for somebody and something works for me.
Well, I think what the key is to go to your spouse and say, clearly something is not right between us. What have I done to you, or what am I not doing for you that you're unhappy right now?
Right. That's what I was trying to say. Don't ever come at them. Maybe
you weren't. I'm not saying you were coming at, but I think when you approach a conversation of
what
hey,
can I do better?
Yes, that is going to get a better response than going and saying, "Hey, I'm unhappy." Da 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 da.
Yes.
How do you feel? Right. Start out with how do you feel. Start out with what am I doing wrong? How could I be better? And let's work on this thing together. Because honestly, I agree with you. It's the communication thing. They're not. So 99% of all conflict comes from misaligned expectations. And clearly they have a misaligned expectation. He expects one thing out of their relationship. Right. She expects another thing out of their relationship. And neither one of them are getting that thing. And they're doing the same thing we did. They're letting all that hurt and all that disappointment from not getting the thing that they want out of the relationship sort of build a wall. And it's clearly been building for time for them. So I hope you're listening tonight. That's the advice we would give.
That's good. That's good. That's perfect. How you twisted that around, which is that's exactly kind of what we learned in therapy. It's not what you did. It's, hey, this is how it made me feel, or how do you feel, rather than pointing at somebody and saying, you did this or you did that.
All right. Well, I think that's a great spot to stop episode 3. We'll be back next week with episode 4.
And sorry if you've heard some...
They can't hear the cat whining.
Oh, okay.
Cat's outside the door crying because she's not in here with us. But check out our website, talesfromemptynest.com. It's got links to all our socials. It's got links to every place you can find this podcast. It's got a link to our contact form, and I think that's super important. I'm not going to use your info. I'm not going to put you on a mailing list, but if you want to reach out to us with your comments or questions, please feel free to do it there. I think that'll help us continue to have shows that you guys are interested in listening to. So You guys have a good night. Thanks, Mama, for being here. Thanks for talking about crazy stuff again. I know that's not easy, but we did good. Now it's going to be hard. We're going to have to think of different stuff to talk about. You guys have a good night.